Hello and welcome to r/entitled parents. Today I am going to read three stories from r/entitled parents. Story number one by Ray's Substantial 8420, titled Entitled Mom at a Chip Shop. This story is from when I, a 22-year-old woman, was around 15. It was a Friday after school, and I decided to go to the local chicken and chips shop before I started work. It was fairly quiet, so when I went in, I just stood in the line and waited probably 30 seconds before one of the staff members called next. At this point, being next in line, I walked up to the counter only to be grabbed from behind by the collar of my school blazer. I live in Australia, so blazers are pretty compulsory everywhere. It turns out that shortly after I had walked into the store, a mother and her two sons, around my age, had also entered. They saw the ticket machine and decided to grab a number while I was waiting in turn. Seeing that I didn't have a number, no one else did either, as it was very quiet. She let out an ungodly screech and a few choice words. I offered for her to go in front of me, as I really didn't want a headache at that point in time, but she declined, stating that it doesn't matter now that I had already shown how I feel by not letting her, a busy mother, go first. To note, I didn't even realize they were in the shop to begin with. She then proceeded to get out her phone to photograph the school emblem on my chest so she could report me to the school. It was at this point the other patrons in the shop piped up and called her out for her ridiculous behavior. With one final screech, she accused them of taking the side of an ungrateful child over a working mother and her poor hungry boys. Before grabbing the hands of her sons, who were almost red with embarrassment, and flouncing away. To wrap up the story, two other patrons gave me their phone numbers should she report me to my school to act as witness on my behalf. And I was given free chips by the owner, who also happened to know my dad at the time. TLDR, angry mom tries to threaten me over hot chips and embarrasses her two teenage sons. Just okay. Wow, that was that entitled mom. What a cunt. I mean, OP offered for her to go in front of her, so, according to OP, the place wasn't busy, so just accept the offer to go in front or deny that. Just go, yeah, I'm not that busy, just go ahead. Why, why is entitled mother complaining? Next story is by Grevin Mistake, entitled Mom Lets Her Kids Parkour Over Gravestones. You read the title right. I forgot a hot minute about it, but I will tell you now what I witnessed while at a graveyard. Me, me, BF boyfriend, EM entitled Mom. My boyfriend and I, earlier in the summer, decided to have a picnic in a graveyard. Shut up, I know it sounds weird, but this graveyard is historical and is open to the public. I talked to the people there, and they actually encouraged people to come and hang out, especially at its park section where there were benches, chessboards, and patches of grass to lay on. We went on the main road to the park section and we had a very lovely time. We had sandwiches and enjoyed the beautiful landscape, especially the lake surrounded by lavender bushes. We packed up and we started heading out of the graveyard when I hear kids yelling. Now, this is strange because you were supposed to still be quiet in the graveyard. So I looked towards the gravestone sections and saw about 5 kids jumping and running on and around gravestones. Obviously, 50-year-old gravestones should not be touched, let alone sat on or jumped off of. So I looked around and saw entitled Mom standing on the side path, talking to probably her mom. I should have grabbed staff, but I basically told my boyfriend I wanted to confront them. So he came along, and I said to entitled Mom when I got up to her, "Hey, I don't think you're allowed to have your kids touching the gravestones. That's considered disrespectful." I kid you not, the entitled Mom turns to me and goes, "Oh, it's okay. I know the manager." I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "You know the manager of this graveyard?" And she must have realized what she said because she got all wide-eyed and pale, but she kept her ground and said, "Yes." In total shock at the stupidity of this woman, I just left. After we went a block away from the graveyard, I turned around and saw all of them leaving together. You cannot reason with someone who doesn't know that the graveyard does not necessarily own the graves outright. This is supposed to be r slash entitled parents. Question. Is there an r slash stupid parents? Cause this lady, I think, belongs there. Not OP, the entitled mom who's letting her kids play on gravestones. And about OP, you, your boyfriend having a picnic in the graveyard. I don't think that's weird at all. I hear that's a pretty common thing, whatever. But not necessarily common, but have heard of people having picnics and that at the graveyard in graveyards, especially those in the Gothic subculture. Next story is by Imaginary Broccoli 6. Karen insists her child swim in pool, but it is not though. So, obligatory backstory. My stepdad side of the family wanted to see where my mom grew up, and it so happened that my stepdad's biological son lives in such an area, so they all went. I didn't go because I have work, so just my stepdad, mom, and entitled mom and Karen, FA favorite aunt, LB little bro, and SDM stepdad's mom were there, but they aren't relative to the story. So we all arrive and all is well until Karen noticed a big pool. She immediately runs towards it, and was then stopped by my mom. "Careful, Karen, that pool is not just any pool, it's a entitled Aunt. Why can't you go into the pool? It's harmless." "No, entitled Aunt, that's the problem. It's harmful. It's entitled Aunt. This is Mom's childhood home. Why are you arguing with her? The pool is harmless. She doesn't want anyone in her private pool because she's a typical rich snob. My mom grew up poor, but eventually the family got rich in a way. Mom started to realize that she can't get any word in entitled Aunt. So, to prove her point about the pool, she picked up a rock and threw it in. Then alligators popped out and attacked the rock, splashing around and such. Entitled and Karen shook to the core on what they just saw, and Mom broke the silence and said, "Still want to swim? Be my guest." This was just this morning. Edit 1. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned about why we have gators in our backyard. The caretaker of the house is married to a marine biologist, and the facilities in the village my mom is from just didn't have the proper equipment to house reptiles. So, with the family's permission, she allowed to house the gators. They have some disabilities that make them unable to survive in the wild, hence they are practically part of the family. They've been around since 95. They are pretty harmless most of the time, but it's cautioned that we don't go near it. Edit 2. This happened in Indonesia. I won't say where because the village is like so pre-80s. Someone thought this was Florida, and I am not American. This happened in Asia. So OP did include a video of the gators and that. I will later on when I upload this video and all that, I will post a link to each of the stories I read today in this video in the description below. But yeah, I watched the video and like I don't know, like it didn't really even look like a pool, but unless that's just an example. No, that's no. I'm pretty sure OP said that was their video, her video. Yeah, so OP had his mom or her mom send him a video of the alligators, and like when we first looked at the pool, at the top of the water is all green from algae, and as soon as the rock went into the water, yeah, two gators popped up and started thrashing. Well, that was r/ entitled parents. If you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. I have a $1 tier and a $3 tier. $1 tier, you get your name on a card that appears at the end and beginning of my Let's Play videos. And probably my Reddit stories as well that I read. The $1 tier, get your name on a card, like I said. Your name also will go into the description of the videos. And $3 tier, same thing as dollar tier, but I will also show your name out, and I will add in the description one link to one of your social medias of your choice. I also have a Fiverr where you can commission me to draw your OC, starting at $10 for just a drawing of your OC's head, 15 for to draw half the body of your OC, and 25 to draw the full body of your OC. I also have a Streamlabs merch shop. If you'd like a t-shirt, go check it out. I also have a mug, flag, a sweatshirt, and a couple of things. Or if you just want to donate, but don't really want anything in return, then just consider donating on the Streamlabs donation thing. Thank you for watching, and that's the end.